Here you are. Can I ask why you ran off? If you don't want to talk, it's fine. We don't have to talk. We can sit here in perfect silence together. Neither of us need to say a word. Or, if there is something on your mind, something troubling you, I'm here. That might not mean a lot, but I am here. In whatever capacity you need. I was just worried, that was all, when you ran away. Everyone is quite worried about you. Our concern is that there is something troubling you and you're not talking about it. And you are perfectly entitled to keep your thoughts to yourself. You don't have to talk to me, as I said. But, take it from an old man who retrospectively understands why it's not healthy to keep things in. You don't think I'm that sort? Common misconception. So many people seem to believe that because I am so extroverted, that there's not an ounce of introvert to me, that I have no thoughts of my own, that every fleeting little thought, like a Cornish pixie that comes into my head, I feel immediately as though I have to share it. When I was younger, I used to impulsively share every thought. But when the First War came, I found it more and more difficult to open up to my friends, even my closest friends, those who I cherished the most, even those I loved the most. Bottling your thoughts and dealing with them on your own, that's fine if that's how you cope, but sometimes it can help just to have someone listen. As I said, the First Wizarding War really took its toll on me in more ways than I would like to admit. And now here we are, history repeating itself relentlessly. Do you know, I really didn't think that this would happen again. Or at least maybe I just hoped, foolishly, that no one would have to go through what me and my friends went through again, and it is infinitely worse this time. And I am so sorry if all of the troubles in the world at the moment are getting the better of you, unless it isn't anything global, unless it's something more personal. I see. For what it is worth, I think that you are doing a stupendous job at keeping afloat. There are so many times when it's easier to just sink than to keep treading water because of the sheer exhaustion that we're feeling. I'm so proud of you and what you are doing. I hope that counts for something. I hope that means something. For if one person can be proud of you, can recognize that you are keeping your head above the water, even when you feel as though you should just be letting go. I'm pleased you are here. I'm pleased that you are with us. I said, I am proud of you. You have a very slight cut just here. My healing magic isn't the greatest, so do you know what? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe we'll talk to Remus instead and ask him if he'll do something for you. Remus has always been a very good person to talk to if you are in need. You've tried. And still you feel like this, even though I'm certain that he's supplied you with an absolute abundance of chocolate. Alright. Well, I very much doubt that whatever is causing you such strife, that we are not going to be undoing any Gordian knots tonight. But, as I said, I'm happy to listen. Anything. Yes. Well, I'm not sure what is best to be said for that sort of situation, really. But what I can say is that you must keep going. Even in the darkest hours, you must remember to turn on the light. A little lumos internally goes a long way. I personally find it difficult to sit here and not act when there is so much we could be doing. That's always been my weakness, I suppose. I'm not really one for sitting around and talking. I'm more of a doer than a thinker. Huge flaw of mine, but you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But sometimes doing nothing is one of the greatest things that you can do. To be bored, to sit with only your own thoughts. And yes, I know that can be overwhelming and scary. Trust me, as someone who has been alone with his thoughts for a very long time in a very dark place, I know how intimidating the thought of that can be. But believe it or not, boredom creates solutions. Simply sitting by yourself, thinking, pondering, having no distractions whatsoever, no gobstones. No newspapers, nothing. To simply sit with your own thoughts at first can be quite intimidating, but if you do, you'll find that your mind is an incredibly creative device and will find solutions that you had never even thought of before. It is worth a try. Perhaps that might work. That retreating is better than giving in to defeating. Take a moment, breathe in, and a long exhale. And you might just find that your imagination, that beautiful mechanism, may supply you with the answer that you have been seeking out for so long. How do you stop the bad thoughts? Well, if you figure out how to do that, let me know. Bad thoughts aren't something to be afraid of. You know this, don't you? They're something to be seen, acknowledged, and then dismissed. Bad thoughts will come, no matter what. No matter who you are, we are all prone to dissatisfaction and disbelief in others, in ourselves, and those thoughts will come. And all you have to do is acknowledge them when they do come into your mind like an unwelcomed guest. Acknowledge and then say goodbye. To not acknowledge them, to try and repel them, will make it worse because it gives them power. The same way with bullies. That's all that bad, intrusive thoughts are. They come into your mind and they want to bully your brain. But there's something that a bully hates, and that's being acknowledged and then dismissed. If you allow those bad thoughts to get the better of you, then the bully is winning. And no one wants a bully to win. I will admit that I was something of a bully at school, along with my friend James. But he without sin cast the first stone. No, it's alright. Sorry, maybe I'm not saying the right things at all. Perhaps what you do need to be doing is asking for help, not necessarily me, because I don't expect you to share with me precisely what is going on in your life. I wouldn't want to intrude, it's not my place. But perhaps there is someone who you can reach out to, someone you can talk to, someone who will understand. Anyone. It might be a thought. It is always good to have friends when we're feeling worse. At our worst. Anxiety, being overwhelmed. I know these very well. But what you cannot do, or no, what you should not do, is allow these thoughts to rule you. What we said about thoughts being bullies. Reprogram your mind to believe that dark thoughts must be acknowledged, and they must be. There's no way around it. But then replace them. Good memories, happy memories, and failing that, going outside, walking, breathing, stretching, jumping, dancing, even if you have nowhere to do it but your own bedroom. Dance, shake off all your limbs. It's something that used to help me a lot when I was younger. I used to find that simply shaking out my muscles, shaking out my hands, my whole body, moving, feeling that need with me a lot. It shakes out the nerves, gets rid of the energy, the negative, bad energy that might be building up, might be sitting on you like dust. You just need to dust yourself off once in a while. So, just try it. Like that. Good. Very good. Now, perhaps moving and dancing is something that Grimmauld Place and the people under its roof are not going to be overly happy with. Once upon a time I would have encouraged it, put on the music, started dancing to your heart's content and not quite giving a damn if people were waking up or not. But age comes for all of us, and maturity doth strike. Sad, really. I am an entirely different person than I was 12 years ago. Yeah, part of me is the same, part of me always will be. But then again, I'm a different person to the person I was yesterday. The same way you are a different person to the person you were yesterday. Every day is an opportunity for us to learn, to change, to develop, to recognize what helps us, recognize what serves us and what doesn't externally, and of course internally as well. Simply realizing that you are a moving, ever-changing, magical thing. Not something static and carved from granite. You are fluid. And you might wake up tomorrow and be an entirely different person, and that is perfectly all right. If you wake up tomorrow and you decide you want to be a unicorn, I say go for it. Life is too short to give a damn about what other people think of you, my dear. Far, far too short, my darling. The best thing you can do is be authentically true to your ever-changing self. There are no rules. No one has written down how you are allowed to express yourself in your appearance, your name, your identity, whatever it is. And if the day after you think, well, that's not who I am anymore, again, you are perfectly welcome to make that choice. You are perfectly perfect. The way you are today, the way you were yesterday, and the way you will be tomorrow. Life is exciting in that way. Life should be a surprise to us. And although surprises and changes feel quite overwhelming at times, feel intimidating perhaps even, surprises are something we should welcome, something we should be ready for, and something which makes life wonderful, 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 wonderful. You're looking slightly more relaxed. I'm pleased. Now, take that tear and this tear. There is no need for those anymore. Not necessarily that crying is always a bad thing. I think that crying can sometimes be sadness wanting to escape us in some way. It's a purging of types. And little damp on the cheek there still. There you are. Better. Beautiful. Chin up. and see you smile. Wonderful. My darling, you are looking far more relaxed, far more at ease. So I'm hoping, just hoping, that maybe my words have gotten through to you, even the slightest bit. And it is now terribly, terribly late. And you should be asleep. I should be asleep, probably. But I've always had a sort of nocturnal side to me that I can't beat. And I am meant to be meeting Mr. Lupin in a moment. Sorry. Yes, we have a long history together, Remus and I. I won't bore you with the details now. But there's a number of things I wish to talk to him about and catch up about. Too long have we been apart. Too long. And I have many apologies to make to him. And words. Which I didn't get to say before. Words that I've kept in my heart, right here, for so many years. And questions about where things now stand between us. For, as I said, if we are different people to the people we were yesterday, we can certainly be different people to the people we were over 12 years ago. Oh, no, alright, but thank you for your concern. It means a lot, truly it does. But there's no sign of him as of yet, so I think you can tolerate my company for a little bit longer. I don't want to leave you until you are feeling at least mildly better, at least a little bit better. So, tell me about your day. Very good. Really? I can't help but notice that you have a streak of mischief to you. As a fellow mischief maker. Keep it up. The world needs more mischief to it. People take life too seriously, I find. People act as though once you reach a certain age you have to grow up. Absolute codswallop, in my opinion. What people say or mark as childish are the most fun things in the world. I don't understand why someone would say, well, that's childish, so I don't want to partake, when it is the things that bring us the most joy. Playing, dancing, being silly. These are just natural parts of the human experience. And we do these things when we're children because they are fun. And I don't know who set the rules, but I'd like to talk to them. Whoever decided that at some point you just have to grow up. I had that in my household too many times. Grow up. You need to grow up. And I'm very pleased to say I decided to take no notice of them whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with being different at all. There's nothing wrong with being the pick-me-puff, the black pick-me-puff in the bunch of white ones. There's nothing wrong with standing out. Yes, people might look at you People might stare, people might question, people might laugh. Well, then you're making someone laugh. That's never a bad thing. To be true to yourself, even if it means being different, even if it means upsetting other people, as long as you're not really hurting them. Being different is something to embrace, is something to commend people on. I can't help but think you might be a little bit different. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a little weird, being a little strange, feeling as though you don't fit in with everyone else. There's no trouble, no worry to that whatsoever, my darling. Truly. I intend to never truly fit in. I intend to always be a little bit odd. May I let you know that the most fun, the most wondrous people that I know in life are odd. And the best thing about them, they're odd and they're mad, downright mad. The best thing about this, the secret I will let you know, they are the ones who are remembered. Truly, the ones who are mad, the ones who do not give a damn about what people think of them, their thoughts. They are the ones that people talk about. If you are talked about, if you are hated, it means you're actually doing quite well. It means you've made it. Unless, of course, we're talking like hated as in he who must not be named hated, of course. No, to simply cause fear, to simply cause hate, to express opinions about other people when you really should be keeping those to yourself. That is unacceptable. Behind closed doors, I understand that sometimes we must vent our frustrations about people in our lives to people we trust. But I cannot stand the people who go to things like the Daily Prophet and voice their opinion as though it is the only word, as though they are Merlin themselves. You just want to say to those people, are you so insecure that you have to belittle others? Are you so unhappy that you feel you need to tell other people how to live their lives because they live them differently to yours? For shame. There comes a time when we must speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. There comes a time we must give voice to those who are voiceless. But to bully people, to make people feel stupid, to hate people for liking something which is harmless, completely harmless. That is a kind of childishness and immaturity which I cannot abide. That is when you must say to these people, you should grow up. Or perhaps they're just so grown up or feel that they are, that they need to really relax a little bit. I, for one, am told about a lot of things, which I enjoy. Oh, you're in the wrong, Sirius. That's a bad thing, Sirius. And I say, well, why? It's not hurting anyone. It's not hurting me. It's not hurting the people I love. If anything, these things that I enjoy are bringing happiness to me and my friends, and we're creating a little community. I see no harm in that. In fact, the people who go around spreading this poisonous vitriol are actually doing more harm than good. They themselves are being harmful, trying to preach gush about things that are harmful. It's a very odd way of living, if you ask me. And I know about living odd. It looks as though I am boring you now. Maybe I should be getting away and see you, Mr. Lupin. Hello. I'll be with you in one moment, Remus. One moment. I think it's a little late now, my darling, and you should be going to bed. Don't you agree? So, I will leave you with one final meandering thought. That I think that you are doing a wonderful job at being you. And every time you smile, yes, that smile, every time you smile like that, it is that little bit of Lumos lighting up the world. And you wouldn't believe how catching a smile can be. You wouldn't believe how you can make someone's day by simply having an idle smile sitting upon your lips. And may I ask you to smile more, and to find at least one reason a day to laugh. That is your challenge, Mischief Maker. That is your challenge, my fellow Mischief Maker. All you must do is find a reason, one reason every day. Smile and laugh. If you could do that for me, I myself will have reason to smile. So then, I must be away, you must to bed, and should you need me, you'll always know where to find me. I'll always be close by, and I hope you think of me every time you smile. Away with you, Mischief Maker. Good night. Good night. Good night.